We are live on YouTube.
All right, thanks, Melissa. Good evening, everybody. Call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. And we will start out with our acknowledgement of tribal lands. And I will show a video. So 1 second, let's share my screen.
Hash Chesh Eskol. It is good we are together. We acknowledge that we are on the indigenous land of the Coast Salish peoples, who have reserved treaty rights to this land, including the Duwamish, Duh Duabj, Suquamish tribe, Duh Akwabj, Muckleshoot Indian tribe, Buckleshoot, and Snoqualmie Indian tribe, Stokwabuh. We thank these caretakers of this land who have lived and continue to live here since time immemorial. And we thank you for taking the time to know and understand the true history of this place, and to practice allyship in taking care of these shared lands. In good health. Hoi.
All right. Moving on to our consent agenda. Is there any objection to adopting our consent agenda? Any objection? Any objection? All right, our consent agenda is adopted. I will pass it over to Martin and Beth to talk through the endorsement committee report and recommendations.
Hello there. Good evening, Democrats. I assume people can hear me. I would like to begin by extending some special thanks to our Vice Chair, Beth Baisley, who worked some scheduling magic in arranging presentations for 5 bond and levy issues on a single night. And Kat Pipkin turned those presentations into KCD YouTube videos. You can check with your endorsement committee reps for the links. And it's our hope that they have been and will continue to be helpful to individual and LD deliberations on those issues. I'd also like to further thank Beth for her excellent moderation of the presentations, as well as her work on developing questionnaires for next year's endorsement process. We are hoping to have those at least some of those questionnaires ready to present at a meeting later this year. And finally, special thanks to Aaron Schrader for his work setting up the ranked choice online balloting we used, which was instrumental in focusing our discussions and tallying initial and final recommendation results. The King County Endorsements Committee is pleased to bring forward recommendations on 5 local bond and levy measures, which will appear on the November ballot. These are the City of Seattle Proposition Number 1, Property Tax Levy Renewal for Transportation. The committee recommends a position of yes. The Auburn School District Proposition Number 1, School Construction and Facility Improvements General Obligation Bonds. The committee recommends a position of approved. The Issaquah School District Proposition Number 1, General Obligation Bonds. The committee recommends a position of approved. The Washington School District Proposition Number 1, Construction Levy. The committee recommends a position of approved. And finally, the Kent School District Proposition Number 1, Capital Projects and Technology Levy. The committee recommends a position of approved. And we are also pleased to recommend endorsement of Nick Brown for Attorney General. King County currently has no endorsed candidate for this race because our endorsed candidate did not advance to the November election. And so the committee is bringing these forward as a slate of recommendations. My understanding is that any executive board member may request to remove one or more of those issues for separate individual consideration. And at this time, I am willing to attempt to answer any questions that anybody may have.
Thank you, Martin, and thanks so much to the endorsement committee for your work in bringing those to the executive board. Are there any questions for Martin before we move to voting? Scott.
Hi, I do not have access to the share. So when I click on the links to look at the report, I get a request for access.
Scott, we're just adding you to the roster, so as soon as we're done tonight, you'll have access to that.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Then it appears to me as though Ken Albinger has his hand up also.
Yeah, thanks. Martin, is the Washington School District, is that the Lake Washington School District 313?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's so.
Okay.
Some reason our notes referred to it as the Washington, but that would be
Yeah.
Lake Washington.
All right. Thank you.
And it is reflected correctly in the final recommendation that's online, Martin, as well as in the meeting minutes.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Kat.
I'll ask for if there's any objection. If there is, just state that, and we'll continue on voting. Is there any objection to proceeding with the endorsement of the measures and the endorsement of Nick Brown for Attorney General as recommended by the endorsement committee? Any objection? Any objection? All right. The endorsements are the motion is passed, and so we have endorsed those measures, and Nick Brown is candidate for Attorney General as recommended by the endorsement committee. Thank you again, Martin, Kat.
Awesome.
And the rest of
Thank
the
you,
endorsement
everybody.
committee. Thank you. All right, we're at the point of committee reports. Are there any committees that would like to report out to the executive board?
Hannah had wanted to do an election observer report.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a committee or not.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, so we have 6 trainings available for those of you who are not already certified election observers. So if this is something you've been wanting to do, we've got still lots of spots, like I think over 23 or 20, over 20 spots still available. I'll put in the chat the signups for that. The other thing I would love to plug is ballot box observing. You do not have to be a certified election observer to be one of our observers for the ballot boxes, but we will have a training with King County Elections that I would love for you to attend if you do decide to do that. So that sign up will also, I'll throw that in the chat as well. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great. Are there any questions for Hannah about either elections observing or ballot box observing? Melissa?
I will just double down on what Hannah was saying. Sometimes we do not have a Democratic observer on the floor, and usually another party does. And it is very helpful to have multiple perspectives on the floor with our King County Elections team, watching as they do the fabulous job that they do. So if you or anybody it's a super fun thing to do, but it is also really important that we always have Democrats represented, if at all possible. And it would be great to get those 20 spots filled.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Melissa.
Hannah.
And then I think Amy was going to do PCOs, Jeremy.
Thanks. Not a whole lot to report. I'm going to defer to Nathan when he does the coordinated campaign update. But just to let everybody know that we have been having some difficulties with the Panda Doc. So if you've sent in, if you've been doing appointed PCO, anything with appointed PCOs and sent things in real recently, we might still be working through some of those issues. So bear with us. And we can continue to take appointments. The new term starts December 1st. So if you want to have anybody appointed for the last couple of months of the year, then they can go through our portal on the KCDEMS website. I think that's it.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. Any other updates from committees? All right. If not, we'll go to hear from Nathan about the coordinated campaign. Nathan?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeremy. To those that haven't met me before, my name is Nathan Hare. I work for the state party's coordinated campaign. I am the regional field director for King County. I'm managing a team of 6 people that have been doing incredible work in this county. I want to share some statistics with you all. We have completed 743 people have completed a canvas shift in the state of Washington with the coordinated campaign, and 407 of those 743 are from King County. So really, we as a county are really putting the entire state, the entire state is counting on the work that we're doing. Similarly with phone bankers, we've got 497 people statewide have completed a phone bank shift. 220 of those people live in King County. We have about, my vote builder says we have about 1,058 PCOs in King County. I just checked. We've gotten 76 PCOs to complete a canvas shift with the coordinated campaign. So, you know, obviously I would love to really encourage your PCOs and your members to get plugged in with the coordinated campaign. We are focusing on high impact work. We are focusing on canvassing and not making phone calls to voters. Having conversations with voters is the name of the game. Melissa just dropped my the coordinated campaign King County link tree, which I painstakingly update every day to ensure that it's easy for folks to sign up for these events. I want to just share one last report of the which LDs are really plugging in. Y'all have a sense of like which LDs are, you know, where the volunteers are, right? But I want to just let you know what's happening in 2024 in King County, which LDs are really getting canvassers to show up with the coordinated campaign. LD1 has 12 folks. LD5 has had 38 canvas shift completers. LD11 has had 5. LD12 has had 12. LD30 has had 31. LD31 has had 1. That's not in my region. So I'm a little bit, yeah, that's just not in my region. LD32 has had 8. LD33 has had 12. LD34 has had 38. LD36 has had 41. LD37 has 20 unique canvas shift completers. LD41 has 19. 43 has 31. 45 has 26. LD46 has 43, currently leading the state. LD47 has 26. LD48 has 35. So thank you all for encouraging your members to participate in the coordinated campaign, especially in these last 6 weeks. I've been working closely with Melissa and Amy to get the infrastructure in place, get the events in place so people can plug in and do this good work of talking to the voters. You know, I don't have a ton of asks for you all other than to just share out my link tree, encourage your, you know, if that can go out in your monthly emails, that's a huge win. That's a huge win for the coordinated campaign. So Jeremy, thank you so much for letting me speak. If there's time for questions, I'm happy to take any. If there's no time for questions, yeah, I'm just happy to be here and really, really enjoyed working with you all. And thanks for promoting my events.
Thanks, Nathan. Any questions for Nathan about the coordinated campaign? All right. Thanks, Nathan. Oh, Sharad. Yes.
Hey, sorry. Since
You're
this is
good.
probably the last King County Dems. Oh wait, we probably have one in October, but I'm not sure if never mind. I will. It's an October question. Never
I'll,
mind.
Okay.
I'll offline with you, Sirag.
Great.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Nathan, for all the work in coordinating, and thanks to everybody who's been out and supporting the coordinated campaign. That was a lot of numbers in terms of showing up from King County. So thank you, and look forward to the continued presence, engagement. All right. Pass it off to Kat to talk about the leadership interest meeting for King County Dems.
Yeah, so it's an even year coming up on the election, and you know what that means, reorgs. Here at the county, we would love, love, love to have an opportunity of talking with people about what the various elected positions are. If you're at all interested, or even if you're just curious to know what people do in those positions, please feel free to drop in. We've scheduled that for Sunday, October 13th from 5 to 6 p.m. That will be via Zoom. And that should allow you to complete one of Nathan's canvassing shifts and then swing on by and join us for a call.
Awesome. Thank you, Kat. Anybody have questions about the interest meeting? All right. Oh, Melissa?
The only thing that I would add is if all of you could please take this information about the leadership meeting back to your e-boards or your comms person to please share it so that we get a broader net for who might be interested in these positions.
Yes. Thank you both, Kat and Melissa. And just to piggyback on that, we're really trying to have a very fair and open opportunity for people to connect. So this isn't like disclosing, hey, I'm interested in this role or what have you. It really is an opportunity to just come and learn and hear about the roles. Rita?
Could you please put the link back up? I didn't get all of it. The link for this meeting.
It's in the chat, Rita. Do you see the chat?
Yeah, but I was trying to write it down.
I will email it to you. It'll
Okay,
be
thank
sent,
you.
and I'll email it to you separately. How's that?
Thank you, Kat.
And actually, we can get this out to the whole e-board. We'll get all these links out to the whole e-board so that you have that and can provide it to your comms chairs.
Great. Thank you. All right, next up, as Kat mentioned, it's reorganization season coming up. And so we've got a date scheduled for the reorg Sunday, December 15th at 12 o'clock. And we'll have other dates that will come out about the candidate forum as well. So keep an eye out, and the PCO swearing in as well. So keep an eye out for those dates. They will be leading up to the reorg. So also working to put together a plan and meet with LD chairs about the LD reorgs that are coming up. Basically, we're trying to make sure that we're whoever, like for that next term, as they're hitting the ground running in January, which is when LD reorgs start, and the goal is to finish those in January, that we've already got a plan laid out that will help that go smoothly and efficiently and within the capacity that KCDCC has. So for chairs, I'll be reaching out to talk about that plan and make sure we're aligned on what that plan looks like. And if you are interested in volunteering with the reorg, if you've participated in a reorg, you know it is a labor of love. And so if you are interested in volunteering with the reorg, we could use your help. So please reach out. You can either put your name in the chat or you can reply to the invitation, the call to meeting. All right. And I will pass it off to Melissa for bylaws changes. Any questions about reorg, I guess, before I do that? LD or King County. All right, Melissa.
Yep, so we have been collecting a number of suggestions from folks. Oh,
Carol. You're muted.
That's better.
There you go.
I tried to read the links for the leadership meeting, and it says I have to it's that I have to leave this meeting and go to that meeting. So I don't know if that's the right link.
Yeah, it is a Zoom link, so you would have to copy and paste it and save it. I should have noticed that when I was pasting it in. We will send out the link and then people can use it to register later. Apologies for the confusion.
And I would like to know, did you mention what officers there are for, or are you going to do that at the leadership interest meeting?
We will send out information about, I think we have some information we're going to send out in advance about the offices, but we'll talk about them at the interest meeting.
But just really quickly, there's a chair, four vice chairs, 2 state committee members, a treasurer, and a secretary.
For how many committee members did you say?
Four vice chairs and then 2 state committee members.
2 state committee members.
And if you're interested in
secretary and treasurer.
In treasurer and secretary, yeah. And it doesn't, please show up even if you're not interested or you don't think you're interested in an elected role. There are other opportunities to engage. And so we're looking to make sure we get folks who might be interested. They'll know they might be interested because there are plenty of opportunities, even if it's not directly mapped to an elected role. So please show up and encourage folks.
One more question then. You didn't say anything about committee chairs. These are probably variable and subject to the times and people available.
Yeah, well, the committee chairs are appointed with the exception of maybe a couple, but so we are really looking for the elected, but it helps to know for the new leadership to know who's interested in leadership opportunities or even just engaging. So that's why we're encouraging folks who may or may not be interested in elected roles to still show up and attend.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, let's see if I can get this hand down. There we go.
Thank you. All right, Melissa.
All right. So we have had feedback from the endorsements teams and a few other folks about areas of the bylaws that are not working as well as people would like. So if there are bylaws changes that you have been thinking about, we definitely want to be gathering those. And then if you are interested in working on drafting and reviewing and preparing bylaws for next month's meeting, please, again, either call the meeting so that we know that you're interested or what you're thinking about, and we can make sure that we are capturing everything that folks have been thinking about for this past term.
Any questions about, Ollie?
Who do we give our suggestions to for bylaws?
Yeah, if you can just reply to the call to meeting, it goes to the chair's email.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions related to bylaws? If not, thank you, Melissa.
Thanks.
All right. All right. And we're at good of the order. Is there anyone who would like to speak for good of the order? Melissa.
2 things. One, for those of you who have been here for a while, you may remember Dean Fournier, who was our resolutions chair for many years. He unfortunately passed away this summer, and his memorial will be at the end of October. If that is something that you are interested in getting more information about, please let me know. And then the other thing, which is totally unrelated, and I'm sorry for putting these back to back, but is that it appears that perhaps a scammer used the public facing PCO list for sending out emails purporting to be Carrie and asking people to buy gift cards for precinct committee officers. So for all of you, Carrie will not do that. King County Dems will not do that. We do not buy gift cards. And we certainly aren't going to send you random emails asking you to do that. But if you can also just, you may hear about this, and please make sure that you're letting people know that that was a scam. And just be aware, or that apparently scammers have decided to start working PCO lists, which is terrible on so many levels.
Which LD was this?
We've gotten reports from across the county, so my sense is that it was, but again, it's not everybody. So I don't know how they harvested their list. Fortunately, they're not very good at it, and so after an email or two, most people were like, "This doesn't seem right."
Great, thank you. Anyone else for good of the order? Funny.
I don't have anything in particular, but I was hoping that we could take 5 minutes to hear from those who were representing us at the national convention. I see a few names here that I know were delegates to the national convention, and I would just like 5 minutes on vicariously attending.
Sure, yeah. Does anyone want to speak who attended the national convention as a delegate? Right.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that question. Love to talk about the DNC. It was quite the event. It was really kind of it was exciting from start to finish. It was in many ways more than I expected in terms of just the kind of the overwhelming nature of it. But I think that the one of the things that was first pretty obvious is there's about 4,000 delegates, right? And you're in a stadium which clearly holds 20 or 30,000 people, and it was packed. So there were actually more people there who were not delegates. A lot of them were media. And so if you wanted to talk to the media, you had every opportunity to do so. And if you were paying attention during the roll call, you noticed that our Washington State delegation wore hats and sashes with the flashing lights. And so we definitely got quite a bit of media attention from that, which was probably the intention of doing so. It brought folks to our area. And so we were able to a lot of our delegates were able to actually speak to the media and carry that message. And I think the thing that for me was when I did have a couple of opportunities to talk to a couple of reporters and people who shoved microphones in my mouth, and what I found myself talking about was just how the stark contrast between the Democratic campaign this year and what purports to be a Republican campaign and really doesn't have anything to do with the Republican Party as I grew up with it. The contrast is so stark. You have a message that is about inclusion, a message that is about lifting everyone up, a message that is about hope, a message that is about bringing people together, a message that is about lifting up people from all walks of life. And then you've got another campaign which is all about dividing people, fostering hate, trying to establish that it's a zero-sum game where if anyone benefits from a government program, that means somebody else loses. All of that messaging is so negative. And why would I, as a human being, want to be anywhere else than with those people who have the positive message, the positive vision of what politics is supposed to be about? And so it was just absolutely fantastic. I connected both during the events and after the events with the Washington State delegation. People just had a ton of fun. It was just so much fun to be with these folks because everyone saw that positive message and really felt that we were in the right place. We were doing the right thing. We were backing the right people, and that was something that has been missing from politics, I think, for us for a long time. Is that we went through COVID and we went through just a terrible period of frustration with the feeling that things were just going wrong, and we felt like I felt like I was part of seeing that corner being turned and moving in a much more positive direction. So some of us did come home with COVID. I was one of them. So that was the only downside for me, was coming home and having to isolate. But it was just an incredibly powerful, positive experience. And I just thank everyone who helped to make it possible for me to be elected to be a delegate and to represent Washington State at this important event.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Glad you're feeling better. So thank you for serving as a delegate too. All right. Any other good of the order? If there's no further good of the order, I'll entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved by Chris Franco. Is there a second?
Second, Hunter Brown.
Second by Hunter Brown. All right. Thank you, everybody. This meeting is adjourned at 7:02 p.m. Thank you all.
Thanks, Jeremy.